The end of June is approaching, and it seems that right now things are moving extremely quickly at Chelsea Football Club. Hey everyone, and welcome back to the Sports Zection. So we've got some major news to talk about, major developments with regards to what we talked in the previous video of the day. Yes, this is the second video of the day. I was busy making the mother of all videos, talking about how we are building a superpower team. More on that maybe tomorrow or Saturday. News item number one is an update on Omari Hutchinson with regards to his move to Ipswich Town. Of course, a club he knows very well. He played there last season. So apparently we're in talks to sell him for a fee around 20 to 25 million pounds. No buyback clause, but we will include a sell-on clause, which is great because I do think that if he continues to be as good as he's been last season, would be worth more than 20 to 25 million pounds, and whoever buys him later on for 40, 50 million, we get a chunk of that money. Great business since he was free. Moving on to some updates with regards to Dewsbury-Hall from Leicester. So a complete crazy saga that is happening here, which is a saga that Chelsea, let's be honest, are known for with various other players in the past. So what do we have here? Number one, Chelsea are discussing internally about Dewsbury-Hall with club now aware of deal conditions. Understand Brighton opened talks with Leicester City earlier this week to sign Dewsbury-Hall. Close. It now depends also on Chelsea's decision. Maresca is a big fan of him. Of course, he was his coach, a pretty crucial part of his team last season. Now, why is that crazy? Well, because before, Jakob Moller already completed first part of the medical for Leicester City. Dewsbury-Hall is in Brighton with medical also scheduled. Leicester City would receive compensation fee in excess of 25 million pounds, but then came in Chelsea, they called Dewsbury-Hall and deciding about possible bid to Leicester. So this is another hijack type of situation. We've seen that with John Obi Mikel a long time ago. We've seen that with Willian. We've seen that with Caicedo. And I'm probably missing some other names there as well. Remains to be seen what happens. Of course, you know my thoughts about him. Stats-wise, we've talked about that before. Positioning, it's a position where we are already very well stacked. I mean, he brings in a little bit of experience. He's 25, so he's not 18. He has experience. He has done very well for Leicester last season. Was quite an important player for Enzo Maresca. So, okay, I can understand. But then you have to think about all the other players at the club in those positions. What are we going to do with them? So remains to be seen what happens if he joins us, and if he decides to skip Brighton, then it will only be because we promised him that he will play. Because to sit on the bench, I don't think he will join, because at Brighton he will obviously be a starter. Moving on to the next big news. So that was breaking news from Matt Law. Chelsea are interested in Archie Gray and Dewsbury-Hall. Of course, Dewsbury-Hall, we already talked about him. Archie Gray from Leeds. Now, to be honest, I haven't watched that many games from Leeds, so I had to dig a little bit to find a bit more about him. And what I found was quite interesting. Why is it interesting? Well, first of all, because one, he's only 18 years old. He's quite tall, 1 meter 87 centimeters. Then, at 18 years old, overall, he has already played 89 games. Scored only 5 goals, assisted 7. Okay, fine. Of course, most of those minutes came in the championship. Most of those games came in the championship for Leeds. Okay, but that's not the interesting part. The interesting part is this right here. It's crazy how many positions this guy can play, and it's not like he's suddenly an amateur in one position and a great player in the other. He's 18 years old, 30 games right back, 21 games center midfield, 14 games attacking midfield, and 6 games defensive midfield. I mean, if that's not a versatile player to have in your squad, then I don't know what is. Plus, he's tall. Character-wise, I know it's just from clips that I've seen recently. I mean, recently in the last hour or so. But at 18 years old, to see him play, to see him react the way he is, I mean, I think that's truly something special. To me, football is a simple game. It's a simple game. At the end of the day, yes, you can have extremely talented players, but if the other team, the full team, are a team of character, or a team that will do anything to win that game, 9 times out of 10, I do believe that that team with those players will win the game over a team with an extremely skillful set of players. That's just my opinion. I think he fits into that category of one no BS type of player, 18 years old, and can already produce those goods in various positions. I think you have to have a special talent, special character as well. Like I said, talent is one thing, but talent alone will not make you a great player. So yeah, I mean, he fits a lot of boxes, but then again, right back, we have Malo Gusto, we have Reece James, we have Josh Ashampong. What, are we going to put him as number 4? No. So what, are we going to switch to center mid, attacking mid, defensive mid? We're fully stacked there as well. Unless, of course, we start selling, because Dewsbury-Hall plus him, 2 extra players in the midfield, we already have a lot of players there. So definitely we will need to start selling or loaning out players. But this is already a little preview of what I'm going to talk about in the next video. And if you've seen the interview that I posted of Todd Burley talking about his work at the Dodgers, it's all about increasing, maximizing the chance, the percent of win rate. If you go into the season, you have a, let's say, percentage of between 18 to 22% chance of winning the World Series, in our case, in winning the league, and you try to improve those odds each and every season by attracting specific players. They of course have Ohtani, which I think he's the best paid player of all time, something like that. He calls him the 26th player instead of 26 players because he can do both jobs, right? Hitting and pitching, I believe that's what you call it. Batting and pitching. Anyways, baseball is not my sport, but this is what we're doing with Chelsea as well. We're looking for players that can cover various positions, because if we're going to play 70, 80 games a season, yes, all the cups, European and domestic, plus next season, Club World Cup, you're going to need a lot of talented players to survive throughout the season and keep on winning. And I think that attracting such types of players like this guy right here that can play in those positions, and it's not just him, we've talked about plenty of players in the last couple of weeks. Most of them can play on different positions. So you can already see the direction that we're going into. Of course, I might be completely nuts and seeing something that doesn't exist here, but I don't think I am. Then moving on to the next one, switching to Italy here. So little information with regards to Riccardo Calafiori. After initial plan to keep him, Bologna now feel that will be almost impossible. Buongiorno. Bologna anticipate big proposals for Califiori soon. Juventus have players green light since May. Of course, we know that Thiago Motta has joined Juventus from Bologna, but they still have no agreement with Bologna with regard to Calafiori. Premier League clubs now also keen. He specifically also said that Chelsea are keeping an eye on him, since we are still looking for a left-footer defender, centre-back / left-back. Yes, I know, Chilwell, Cucurella, now him. In my opinion, if you can get Calafiori, it's a no-brainer. It's a no-brainer for me, and I do think that we can pay the 50 million, even though they are maybe asking a little bit less. We can pay the 50 million wages-wise. I don't think it's going to be an issue this time. Staying in Italy here, Di Marzio coming out with a statement, a report that AC Milan are following Chelsea's Carney Chukwuemeka, of course, with us being interested in all of the midfielders on the planet. It makes sense that maybe some clubs will start circling around our youngsters. Same with Casadei. I don't see him staying at the club next season, or at least going on loan is the logical move, right? With regard to Carney, if he can stay fit, I would love him to stay at Chelsea. But then again, staying fit, staying at Chelsea and not playing is not an option either. AC Milan following Chelsea, Carney Chukwuemeka, okay, on loan, because I don't see them paying the amount of money that we should be asking for him. That's the thing with Italian clubs. They talk a big game, they don't have a cent. So yeah, that's that. And then lastly here we go, now confirmed, Marc Gui has completed medical tests as new Chelsea player tonight in London. The release clause worth 6 million euros has been paid. Barca have been informed with formal documents. This is a good system, by the way. If there is a release clause, you go to La Liga, you say, we are going to pay it. You contact Barcelona, we deal with the player, and that's it. Very, very good system. Gui signs as new Chelsea player on deal valid until June 2030. I mean, seeing all the comments around him from Barcelona fans, from Chelsea fans, scouts-ish, let's say. I mean, I think we got here a very, very good deal. And I do expect us to have a couple of announcements from Chelsea, official announcements in the next coming days. End of June, I think it's going to be quite crazy. And then once we go into July, that's probably where the big deals will be made. So yeah, overall, some interesting stuff happening here. Of course, now fully focused on what happens with Archie Gray, what happens with Dewsbury-Hall, because I do think that those will be domino types of action. One domino will fall and then the other one. Remains to be seen what happens. Of course, this Ipswich paying us 20 to 25 million pounds, pure profit for us, good for the books, good for the future transfers as well. It's going to be quite interesting. Of course, do share your thoughts down in the comment section below. If you enjoy this type of videos, leave it a thumbs up, subscribe if you're not, and I see you all in the next one. Bye bye.